First, and typically beyond fashion, we're going to focus in on an inspiring and illuminating project, the decade-long plan to bring to life a national museum for Oman. With experienced design agency Event Communications leading the work, they are here to tell us more about how they brought the story of a nation to life. So please welcome from Event, Amanda Dimmock, who's the senior content designer there, and Esteban Botero, the creative director.
Across Ages Museum tells a remarkable tale of human endeavor in shaping the country's history. But the story of the making of the museum is in itself a story of collaboration and pushing beyond boundaries.
There was an incredible international effort focusing on telling Oman's national story in a place called Nizwa, which is 2 hours away from Muscat, nation's capital. We worked together with the Royal Court of Affairs, our client, and with the architects from Australia, and a wide range of museum specialists from across the world, and AV companies, mostly from the UK, some of which are here today. ISO is probably around here in the audience.
Yes.
All of us focused basically on delivering this ambitious project for Oman.
What united this extensive project team was the vision of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos to create a world-class destination that would transform the way Omanis think, feel, and engage with their country, inspiring them to contribute to the shaping of their country's future.
We were appointed in 2014 to create the master plan, basically to put together the fundamental components of this project. We were brought back in 2016 after the architectural concept was developed by the architects, and we were brought in to design the exhibition space.
On a day-to-day basis, we reported to the Royal Court Affairs project team. Key milestones were reported to a main committee made up of senior government officials who had the ear of our ultimate stakeholder, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, who is seen here laying the museum's foundation stone. After his passing, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq became our key stakeholder. Here he is looking at the museum during its opening ceremony.
So the initial brief for the museum was to create the museum for the Renaissance, this period of incredible transformation since the 1970s. At our first meeting with the main committee, they asked us, how are you able to present the Renaissance without understanding how Oman was before? How long before, we asked, and they said, you have to go way back. You have to go all the way back to the formation of the geology of the country. So in a sentence, our scope changed from 50 years to 4.5 billion years. In practical terms, what this implied was that we ended up with two galleries, the History Gallery and the Renaissance Gallery. And at the pivot, we had the key exhibit, which was focused around the accession of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos.
A project of this magnitude required close collaboration and constant communication with the project team. I moved to Oman and set up a project office in Muscat, where we employed a team to facilitate coordination with the main client, as well as the base build team, main exhibition contractor, and their subcontractors. With differences in time zones and work days, we worked as a relay team, passing work back and forth between studios in London and Muscat. But on the weekends, we traveled all over the country, soaked up inspiration, visited Oman's ancient sites, and marveled at its stunning landscapes. This fueled our creativity, the results of which can be seen directly in our work.
As the architecture emerges from the ground, the exhibition emerges from the architecture. This seamless transition was deliberate. We wanted visitors to be part of the narrative journey way before they set foot in the gallery spaces. But once in, the experience is carefully choreographed to create a series of environments that place the visitor at the center of the key points in the story. Tessellated walls echo the geometry of the building and evoke the Hajar Mountains around the site.
Working with local geologists and artisans, the folds of an incredible rock outcrop are recreated in the building. AV software companies working with local guides and drone operators and abseilers created digital immersive experiences, transporting visitors to the depths of Oman's caves and back in time to the settlements of ancient civilizations. Scenes were reimagined by combining CGI, green screen filming with actors and on-location footage.
Turning a corner, this ribbon peels off the tessellated walls and swirls around over the visitors, marking the moment when Oman embraced Islam. These big architectural gestures shape the environment and create the backdrops for the narrative. But it is the fascinating stories that really touch visitors' hearts and create the memorable experiences.
Each story is underpinned by extensive research of local experts. On this project, we worked with geologists, archaeologists, linguists, historians, economists, biologists, engineers, you name it. Research was interpreted through various display techniques. For example, this ancient cuneiform tablet on loan from the British Museum provides insights into the construction materials needed to build a Bronze Age boat. The research from this object grounds the exhibition.
To create the display, we used both physical and virtual models. We wanted to study the sense of scale around the boat and the different journeys to interpret the story around it. We partnered up with visualizers like F10 to bring our creative direction and illustrate that to the client and the wider team. This is the reality. We worked closely with craftspeople and experimental archaeologists to reconstruct this one-to-one scale Magan boat. We also worked with subcontractors to dramatically mount the boat, create a gigantic AV backdrop, and interpret the boat using tactile and digital interactives. By doing so, we created a symbiotic relationship between the artifact, the collections, the media, and the interpretive elements that brought the boat to life and really impressed a sense of authenticity.
The creative talents of Omani artists are featured throughout the museum. For example, this stunning sculpture, as well as paintings, photographs, film performances of music and dance, not to mention traditional craft heritage such as textiles, ceramics, carvings, and metalwork. We formed a close relationship with the newly formed museum team. Their deep cultural knowledge informed the design and ensured the experience was fitting for Omani audiences.
The exhibition space was shaped and choreographed to introduce diversity of experiences, creating awe-inspiring big reveals and vistas. The visitor route contracted and expanded, generating generous spaces and avenues that were often crisscrossed by passages, always hinting on the experiences that were beyond, but never giving any of the surprises away. One prime example of this conceal-reveal pattern is the Renaissance dawn pillars. Visitors turn a corner onto the pivotal moment of this experience. Sitting at the threshold of the Renaissance gallery, 7 9-meter tall pillars that span across 30 meters create what is essentially a screen that visitors can walk through.
On the other side of the pillars, a vast architectural space is revealed, a cityscape of pavilions, each celebrating a different aspect of Oman's transformation.
The design of each pavilion reflects the content within and brings together collections, intangible and tangible heritage and media presented to the visitors at an intimate scale as well as an architectural scale.
Working with software developers, we created updatable digital platforms for curators to share inspiring stories of Oman's diverse society. Design principles were tested with audience groups during the production phase to ensure that displays were as accessible as possible.
We also presented mock-ups and prototypes, first of all to ensure major stakeholders buy-in, but also to test that our designs were achieving the desired outcome. Universal design principles were used with using a combination of techniques to ensure that the museum content and the narrative was open to a diverse range of audiences.
Interpretation is layered, so there is something for everyone. Beautiful showcase displays prompt older family members to share anecdotes of the past, while interactives are targeted towards younger generations. Innovative technologies were used to encourage creativity and play, and create memorable, immersive experiences through projection, augmented reality, and virtual reality.
At the far end of the Renaissance gallery, there's a window that washes the space in natural light, and visitors are intuitively drawn to it. At the top of one of the last pavilions in the gallery, visitors can see out the window towards the Hajar Mountains in the distance, and they can look back at the gallery and trace their journey from the history gallery and reflect on Oman's transformation in the last 50 years. From this vantage point, one can't help but feel the sense of pride and optimism for the future of this nation.
Through the course of this project, we've each undergone a personal transformation, both personally and professionally. As we carry the lessons learned from this project into the future, the Oman Across Ages Museum becomes a testament to our collective efforts and dedication. We are honored to have contributed to this incredible museum, which will continue to shape the narrative of Oman's heritage for generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.